This is Kaveh from Pleasurekraft, and you're watching myETVmedia. College in Stockholm, which is where he lives, which is where the main studio is. We kind of have split the duties just with how much touring there is to do and all the production load, so he kind of works on the bulk of the productions now and sends me stuff on the road and send it back to him. We used to work just on 2 different continents, just sending files back and forth, but now with the tour schedule and everything, it's kind of crazy. So I kind of attribute it to growing up. One of my favorite bands was Tool, and you never saw them in their videos. It was rare to see them like in interviews. They just kind of never presented themselves in the limelight. And, you know, the few interviews they did do, someone asked them about that, and they were like, well, it's about the music, not the personality of the person making the music. And that just resonated with me since I was a kid. Honestly, it was a state of paralysis. Like, looking at the computer screen and just trying to comprehend, like, you know, Beatport, world's largest dance retailer, online dance retailer, and you're, you know, a site that you've used for years for, you know, coming up as a DJ or whatever, and all these artists you looked up to, and they're all like kind of like behind you, and you're at the top. It's just kind of like you're like looking at the screen like dumbfounded, because when we made the track, it was kind of like, okay, yeah, this is a really cool track, but it's kind of a love it or hate it track, and frankly, no one knows who the hell we are, so probably not much is gonna happen, but whatever. And it came out and it kind of found its own way up there without any help, and God, I mean, it was really unbelievable. But the way I normally describe it, because I think it's the easiest way to understand, is tech house with a hook. A lot of tracks in the genre, in a lot of electronic music, but especially in subgenres of techno, don't necessarily have a hook. They have like really good grooves, might have certain things here or there that stick out, but there's not an actual hook. Tarantula is the first thing that, you know, everyone kind of got to know us for. That track is the hook. I mean, you know, Carny, same thing, and for us, that's just the formula that works, but that's because it's a formula that we love and it's our influences. It's not because, oh, what's gonna work? Let's do that to make money. I mean, that was never like, but luckily we found a little sub-niche that, you know, not a lot of other people were doing. The best thing about performing is arriving to a club, it's packed, and they're there to see you, and the sound system is great, and when you start playing, you just feel the energy and the love. There's nothing worse than going to a club, and it's packed, and no one cares what you're playing. You could be playing white noise, it doesn't matter. Or you go to a club and everyone's there to see you, and the sound system's terrible. And then it's like, well, our music is made to be heard a certain way. I mean, so much depends on the sound system that you just miss so much, especially in tech house and minimal and techno. So much is in the lower registers that when you play on a crappy system, it's just, you know, it's like seeing a 3D movie without 3D glasses. Everything looks blurry. It's like, well, I mean, yeah, I guess the story was all right, but I didn't really get to appreciate everything, so. Well, I grew up kind of listening to hip-hop and metal. Not like together, like Limp Bizkit, but like, or Linkin Park, not like that. But like, I grew up like listening to Tribe Called Quest and The Roots, and also like Tool, Deftones, stuff like that. But I love Kanye West, Timbaland, the Neptunes. Honestly, like, when it comes to like producers and who like we really look up to, it's not a lot of like electronic producers at all. It's all from other genres, just because also I think, I mean, I know Khaled shares a sentiment, there's a lot that's confining about the techno world. Like, oh, if you do this kind of sound, then you're gonna get branded this way, whatever. And it's like there's so much less of that in outside of that realm, and it's kind of annoying, but kind of have to work around it. But yeah, I mean, we have tracks that are not electronic that we're working on under a different name, so we'll see what happens in the future. But arguably my favorite track of ours is Anubis, which unfortunately got leaked 2 months prior to its release. Well, actually, there's a Toronto involved story here. That track was originally supposed to be a remix for BSOD, Deadmau5 and Steve Duda's This Is the Hook. But there was an issue with the label, not with Joel or Steve themselves, but with the label, where the track came out on Beatport as a remix with the This Is the Hook computer voice from the original. After 3 days, it got taken down. And so we were kind of like, what happened here? And then we found out there was legal issue between the label and Deadmau5's people. So they're like, listen, guys, it's nothing your fault, whatever. But then we were kind of like, well, we really like this track, and if it's not going back up, we want to kind of rework it to make it an original. So we took out the vocal bits and kind of reworked it a little bit, and then said, let's just do it as original. So the track was kind of sort of out for 3 days, and people bought it. Then 2 months before release date, it gets leaked off the promo list, and you'll go to Zippy Share and 10,000 downloads. That track never performed as well on the charts because of that, but for me, I think that's one of our best tracks. But obviously this stuff is very subjective, so. Again, Toronto. He's laughing because he knows. The Weeknd. How many, 19, 20, 21-year-old, how old is he? 19-year-olds are there. Put out a mixtape, have so much money, offers for gigs, record deals thrown at them, and you say no to all of them. That's a really, really unique individual. And it's like, that to me says a lot more about him than any of his songs. So I'm a huge Kanye West fan. When the Watch the Throne album came out, one of the songs that stuck out on there for me was a track that Kanye took from Flux Pavilion. And then they changed the name to Who Gonna Stop Me. And there's a line in there that just had Jay-Z's voice as an acapella. And I love that song anyway. And it was kind of like, man, this is just too easy.
You know what that's for.
We just finished the remix for the Nervo Twins. Called You're Gonna Love Again, and it's kind of completely redone. We're really happy with it. And then we have a track we did with Green Velvet on vocals, and that comes out July 2nd on Great Stuff, and it's called Skeleton Key, and we're really excited about it. Oh yeah, I love playing in Toronto. It's one of my favorite cities to play in, and actually promoters that I'm really close with as far as friends go. So it's always nice when you actually get to hang out with people you like, because you're like, yeah, screw the gig. Where are we going to eat? What are we doing tomorrow? Blah, 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 so. Thank you for everything. I wouldn't be in this chair. Kali wouldn't be enjoying whatever he's doing in Stockholm right now if it wasn't for every single person that's come to a show or bought a record or even said, hey, have you heard Tarantula, or tweeted or Facebook, whatever. And, it is a dream come true, so.